Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 17 of Direwolf20's Let's Play of FTB Evolution. The plan for today is I want to show you guys how the new logistics style system works in Create. So there's like a whole new logistics system that I've played with a little bit in a single player test world, so I'm probably not an expert at it by any stretch of the imagination. However, it's cool, and I kind of want to try to use it just for fun to make this thing a little bit better. So I think we could do like a cool kind of setup here where we use like logistics to keep in stock a certain amount of of my fuel source, right? So like just dire things, like Eclipse Ember, and be like, yeah, keep this in stock kind of deal. Um, could be fun. Could be fun. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not super good at how all this works yet, so like I think it's gonna do what I think I want it to do. But if it doesn't, then we change gears, and that's okay because that's the fun of modded Minecraft. We get to try a couple different new things that we've never done before. So that said, last episode we spent a good amount of time automating a bunch of stuff. Real quick, today I want to automate just a few more things. So I need to know how to make this stuff, this processing pattern. It's the first time I'm going to use, I think it's the first time I'm using, refined storage to like insert fluids into things. So we're going to see how that plays out. So we're going to... You are going to do that. And then you are going to extract pulp. Create. Cool. And then you are going to do this and this. And then you're going to be allowed to extract copper plates and cardboard. And now I should be able to, if I'm not mistaken, autocraft some of these cool devices. So like the first thing I want to get is a packager. So we have one, I assume, from a quest reward at some point. I'm gonna get like a few more of those. So if I hit start on this, hopefully that behaves itself. Oh, you know what? Water can't go in that way, can it? No, no it cannot. No, it cannot. That's gonna be a little bit of a challenge, ain't it? It's gonna be a lot of a challenge, ain't it? How do I do that? How indeed? I'm gonna need some kind of like hopper type device that like, so we have a liquid hopper. Omnidirectional hopper? No. Energy hoppers, B jar, that is not a hopper. How am I gonna get, because like we can't put the autocrafter directly on the basin, right? So that's a thing we can't do. I need to solve that problem. So first off, I'm going to tell you cancel, right? And I have to think about how that's going to work. So what I could do, like I guess I could use functional storage. Like what else can hold both a fluid and an item at the same time? Can you? Impulse hopper? I don't think so, right? Some kind of tank that holds both items and fluids. So I'm thinking sophisticated storage? Maybe? So what have we got, like... What do I want here? I want, like, a chest from sophisticated storage. Like an oak one. Right? Now, do I need more... Do I need this to be like a higher tier before it can... See, I don't use sophisticated storage that much, but I think this might be able to do it. So if I upgrade you to iron, and then to gold. Are you gonna have more upgrade slots? Yes. Awesome. That's basically what I want. Okay, now I think sophisticated storage has some kind of tank upgrade, right? So there's a pump upgrade, pumps fluids between tank upgrade and adjacent blocks. That sounds promising. And adjacent blocks works with fluid containers in hand and fluid blocks in world, allows to filter which fluids are pumped. I'm guessing. So that's from sophisticated backpacks, right? I'm assuming between tank upgrades and adjacent blocks. I don't see a tank upgrade for sophisticated storage, just for sophisticated backpacks. What do we got here? Magnet. I'm checking. I mean, I could just try throwing a tank, a pump upgrade and see what happens. I like the idea of the hopper upgrade too, because that'll allow me to push the items to the adjacent, right? That's what I'm thinking, is we can, like, push. Yeah? Does that sound cool? Yeah, see, this is the mod I don't use often, and probably should use a little bit more. Let's just make the tank upgrade. Okay, you don't have a crafting recipe. These guys do, though. Interesting. I wonder if, like, the same upgrade can be used? I'm gonna need some kind of leather crafter, aren't I? What I should do is get, like, a cow dude, like one of these, and do that. That's what I should do. I always mix up hostile neural networks with deep mob learning, and I can never remember which one is which. I need to teach you how to be made. You're gonna go into the obsidian furnace. I upgraded that thing between episodes. So yeah, let me get a little bit of leather and see if this is gonna behave itself, and I'll be right back. All right, so crafting complete. So if can I do this? No, it doesn't seem like I can. All right, let me check the quests. General storage. So this is all about backpacks, which I think, in fairness, I can, you know, stuff and things. Upgrade base. So this has a lot of upgrades that I can make. But interestingly, none of these can actually be crafted. I wonder if this, like, doesn't work in this version or something. I don't know what's up. Now I'm questioning everything. I wonder if I can use a backpack in world, because can't you place backpacks in the world and have them, like, act as chests or something? I feel like I can. Let's try that. I'm just trying to find a different way of doing this than I've normally done it in the past, right? So, like, if it doesn't work, we'll fall back to something like, I don't know, functional storage or whatever. But can I, like, do that? And then put that in there? And, like, this is a block, right? So, like, yes? Okay. And then we can have, upgrade this guy to iron. And then upgrade him to gold. And he'll have some other stuff going on there. Maybe? Is that cool? So now I should be able to, we'll do this dude, right? Pumps fluid between tank and adjacent blocks. This one should be sufficient. Right, so I'm gonna need another one of these, which means another leather, which hopefully by now you've finished at least one cow dude. Nope, no such luck. There's a cow prediction. Leather, yay. And then your job will be to make one of these. And then to make... should teach you how to make pistons real quick. And we're going to have to figure out slime balls at some point, I suspect. Because I know I have a few, maybe? I have one. What's, like, a cool way to get slime balls going on? Like, dough and green dye, but meh on that. I mean, a slime prediction would be cool. We could also do the whole biomass and clay thing from Mechanism. There's a slimy bee. That might be a thing. So we use a honey treat on a slimy nest, and that'll give me a slimy bee. Maybe. What are you again? What's this last dude? Rice slime ball. Yeah, that's a thing from rice dough. We have rice going on, don't we? We do. So if I taught you rice slime balls is that, I taught you rice dough is that, do you, like, know to use a bucket, or do you need to be taught how to get a... like, can you use this water automatically in a recipe? We're going to find out. Yeah, you need a water bucket. Is there, like, a way to make this cool and refined? So I think I could do this. Yes, I just need to make sure that that insert happens correctly. So hopefully, if I did a auto crafter, and we put that here, right? And then we had a pattern that said a water bucket. Turns into a, or a bucket turns into a water bucket. I knew that was going to be too tight. Hooray! And then we put that pattern in here. Are you going to do that? No, because you put it into that side. How do I prevent you from putting it into that side? Can I block you somehow? Not exactly. How about... what if I put something in there that wouldn't stack with water buckets? Ah, that's annoying. I think you would fit in there. If you're like a thing, yes, you would fit in there. All right, so now what if I said water bucket? There you go. That's what I want. Right? And then importer. And cable. Is that cool? I'm on board with that, right? Craft complete. Okay. So now I should be able to make like 10 slime balls, right? A pattern cycle was detected. Okay. Interesting. So it kind of works, but there's a weird cycling problem that it doesn't like, right? And that would be... I guess it detected that it gets the empty bucket back. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Sufficient. Sufficient. Let's get back to making our pump upgrade. This episode did not play out the way I intended it to. And we're out of iron. Yeah, we want to just enrich it. It's the problem with modded Minecraft. You get into sophisticated pump upgrade. Okay. So in theory, I put this in here, right? On pump, output, tank. Okay. And then finally, sophisticated. I assume I want the advanced hopper because that'll let me like specify. It's only below with input options or above. Is there a way to like push to the side? Because that's going to be really annoying if there isn't. All right, it may not be able to push, so we'll have to figure that out. But let's start with, I'm going to replace you with this dude, right? So now if I say I want pulp times 2, in theory, you put the oak saplings in there, but why didn't you put the fluid in there? You have a tank. Why you know thing? Oh, you have to be in input mode for the pump. Okay, so you got the thing. Okay. So now, do you think I could maybe laser IO this? This is gonna be less than pretty. But on the... What direction is that? Because it's not rendering the backpack. Facing? North. So on the north face, you and you, we're going to extract and extract, right? And then on the north face, you're going to insert and insert. And then if I link these two, you're going to work, right? Oh, he works! Yay! It works! That is cool. So what I could well, I mean, like, this thing is very surrounded in space. That took way longer than I expected it to. It took way longer than I expected it to. Oh my goodness, that took a long time. So does that mean you can do this no problem? Yup. Nice. Okay. It works. It was way more than I expected it to, but it works. Oh, what was I even doing in this episode? Are you behaving or are you not behaving? Are you pulling from the left? Yeah, I probably don't want you to do that, do I? Can I remove the pump upgrade? We don't need it anymore, right? Yeah, I think he's pulling from the adjacent basin, which we don't want him to do. So if I just give him a tank upgrade because I don't need him to pull, then we're cool, right? Did you get all derped up, or did you actually craft what I wanted you to craft? No, you craft what I wanted you to craft. So that's cool. So we have our packager now. Let me make one more of you. Just because. I want to make sure that you don't pull, right? So, because, like, what was happening is the backpack was pulling the fluid, and then Laser Eye was putting it back, and it was kind of making, like, a loop. We didn't want that to happen, right? So, yeah, we do that, and now we're cool. Much better. And we don't need the pump upgrade, right? Because we did Laser IO instead. Cool. And ironically, the frog port, while cycling through all the types, doesn't work with the rice slime ball. So we're going to need proper slime balls or resin balls, which are blocks of resin, which are bioresin, which is an extractor from... I don't know if I want to go that route. We'll see. Gonna have to figure one of these out. Ooh. Gate Pearl Slime Gateway. can use to make slime prediction from hostile neural networks. So I was all like, I want to go this route, right? But like finding slime chunks not easy. Slime gateway. Now we're cooking. All I need is some mushrooms and an ender pearl. I can make that happen. Am I really out of ender pearls, by the way? Yes, but I have enderman predictions, so no. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get a bunch of ender pearls. Step 1. Ooh, look at all them ender pearls. They're going to last a very long time for me. You can also get me some more leather while you're in speedy mode. Thank you. And then I'm going to get bottles times 3. I could probably teach this thing how to do bottles in the same way that it's doing buckets. I'm just saying that's a possibility. But like now all I need is mushrooms, which should not be hard because I can go to the nether and find some. Hello. You can be friendly. I'm not gonna hurt you. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Well, let me just grab a couple mushrooms in here. I'll be hopefully not too long. If I could find a biome that wasn't like non-conducive to mushrooms. Alright. So then I can do this, and then with hostile neural networks, we can get this. And then we can do this. Awesome. Oh wow, you guys just like all about getting in my face, weren't you? That's right, slimes in this pack do that slimy thing. There's 2. This will get me slime balls for days. I don't need to pretend I'm not spam clicking. Oh, yep, they hurt. Woo. Acidic slime, you say? Acidic slime, you say? All of a sudden, they were not that easy. I activated my invulnerability for a second. And cool down. Magic Bane slime? That's cool. Oh my goodness, that's a big slime. Vulnerability. That's a lot of slimes. I don't even know if I need a slime prediction at this point. I'm gonna have more slime than I know what to do with. I did the thing. Alright, killing the rest off camera. Wow. That was a lot of slimes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 stacks of slimes. Is that it? I'll take it. Alright, we're good on slimes for just a little bit. So you're done, you're done. Now I can get the frog dudes, which I want. Okay. And I'm going to make the rest of this off camera. Hopefully everything else is pretty smooth here, and we'll be right back to show you a little bit how this thing works. Alright, so in the last few minutes of this episode, let's talk about how the logistics of stuff works. Okay? Real quick, you've got a couple blocks that are part of the whole high logistics system. You've got the packager, you've got the stock link, you've got the stock ticker, the package frog port, which is hilarious and cool. The post box, the requester, the tablecloth, the factory gauge, the repackager, and the filter. So, bunch of different things here, but basically speaking, the packager will take a bunch of items together and put them in a little box for use in the logistics system. So you can be like, hey, package up my junk and send it where it needs to go. That's the basic gist. You can also transport the boxes that you've made via a system. By default, like with the very simplest approach, you can just do redstone signals, okay, to generate the package and then import them in, and packagers can also unpack stuff, okay. You can route to different addresses. So you can, like, I think you put a sign on a packager, and then you'll know that, like, hey, this package is destined for the warehouse. And then it'll be able to be routed via these dudes and create. But we're not going to use any of this. Just like, this is one approach to doing a logistic style system. Okay. The other thing that you can do to transport items is use frog ports. So frog ports are pretty neat. There's this new like chain system here that's part of Create, and it's like very freeform. And frog ports can like put items into this kind of network, and then it'll automatically route to where it's supposed to go. You can either feed it in like this, or you can put the frog on top of a chest, which is pretty cool. And then you can have another frog collect it, and the frogs can also be named. So like basically the frog takes the item out of the packager and it spits it on to the dude, and then it can route to the appropriate other frog with the matching name. So watch. It'll like pick up the diamonds, put it in a box, send it up there, and then this dude will be like, yes, please. Pretty cool. Now the other thing you can have is a stock link. And what stock links do is keep track of what's inside of a chest and create a network of logistics. So you can link up all your stock links to each other, and then they can kind of like communicate and share details about like what's in stuff. Again, if memory serving correctly, you want them on packagers, and the packagers need to be attached to some kind of inventory. Now, this dude we're not going to use, but we'll talk about him in a minute. So let's set up like a really basic dude here to kind of get stuff going. So I'm going to want a couple of you, and then like you, and then like you. Is that sufficient? Yeah, I think so. And then Runchy dude here, okay? So like that's spinning, right? So like let's say that I jumped too high, by the way. I'm just putting that out there. So let's say we had that, right? I can connect these two chain conveyors with chains by basically clicking on one and clicking on the other, and it creates a chain between them, okay? And then we can like have other chains, right? And I don't think it even needs to be like particularly straight. It doesn't even actually need to be like on the same Y level. Though there is kind of a limit to how steep it can be. But how cool is that? Okay, so here's a very basic logistic system that we can make with this setup, right? If we have a couple of chests, okay, and we put this dude here, and we had a packager, okay. Now here's the deal: the stock link can either go on top or bottom of the packager. I've learned that putting them on the bottom is kind of cool, right? And what you want to do is click the stock link with your other stock links so that like their frequency is configured and they're all kind of connected to each other, right? And then we can come over here and have a chest with like another packager, and then that could be cool. Now factory gauges are also a thing that I haven't talked about yet, but this dude, you basically like click on the chain, and that's where it's like connected to, right? And you'll know you're good if you get a green, okay? So like the chain's coming here. So we want to do up too far away. See, I shouldn't have gone that high. So let's try doing this. And then we can make a new chain like that. They don't have a particularly long range, the frog ports. But that is apparently cool. Okay. Good, good, good. Can connect. Forget if I need a stock link here. I don't think I do. I think all I need is a factory gauge. So like if I put some cables in here, right? This thing now knows that there's cables in this chest. Okay? The factory gauge is a way to keep a certain amount of items in stock in an inventory. Okay? So what you do is you put the factory gauge, again, you have to link it like that. It's now tuned to the network. And then I put this dude here, and I can be like, hey, I want to keep certain items. So on this frog port, first I'm going to name him Dest for destination. Okay? And you're going to send and receive packages. And this dude can be named Source, and he will only send packages, right? So we got Source, and we got Dest. And this dude, I can be like cables from refined storage. And I thought there was a way to like, oh right, and send items to enter address that calls packages to arrive here. Sending cable. Why is that not right? Why is that not the way I remember it? This will be Dest. Right. Save and close. Five items. So see how it says 0 out of 5 right now? So he just sent 5 items this way. So look, 5 items came out of the chest, and now it's on the way. Granted, very slowly, because this is a very slow rotation, but increase the rotational speed, right? And now if we check this dude, promised items 5, so there's 5 on the way. Froggy gets them, spits them into the chest. How cool is that? Is that pretty cool? I think that's really cool, actually. And if I, like, take half of these, right, we take 3, now it says 2 out of 5, so it's going to package up 3 of them and send them in the network. Cool? And, like, you can have all kinds of different, like, paths, and, like, these guys you can kind of, like, make a really messy chain network. So there's, like, all kinds of stuff you can do. Obviously, if we increase the rotational speed here, the chains will move faster, and then the frogs will, you know, be able to transfer items quicker. It's very cool. It's very cool, right? So, like, the logistics system is really neat and create. Pretty awesome, right? So we're going to use something like this to automate this, what I want to do here. And we'll do something like keep in stock the charcoal so that, like, you know, he gets charcoal. And then, like, the other guys can keep in stock their other stuff. We have to figure it out, but I feel like it should be doable in a pretty interesting way. We'll find out next episode. For now, Direwl20 sign off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time, and we'll, like, properly play with this stuff. For now, take it easy.